Well, hello YouTubers, gold lovers, folks of all sorts. Welcome back to my channel. Mike here. And we are once again out in the mountains of Arizona, miles from anywhere, and looking at some old mining sites. So this is day 2 of my trip out here. And we're looking around on waste rock piles out here, looking to see if we can find anything interesting. Not just gold, although gold's always the most fun thing to find, in my humble opinion. But any interesting crystals, mineral specimens, pretty rocks, whatever, you know, that's what I'm hunting for. So we got some piles here, and got some piles off in the distance. And well, this area of Arizona, it's just all honeycombed with mines. So I could spend all day out here, and I got a few areas mapped out I want to look at. Now, hopefully, we won't have any wildlife encounters like yesterday. The first video in this series, where I poked my head in an old mine and there was a bobcat in there. That was exciting, yeah. I'll put a link in the upper right to that video if you want to check it out. But I'm going to look around this pile here. Now this stuff came from pretty deep down, I can tell, below the oxidation zone down. This is all sulfide material here. In fact, it is just glittery. Glittery with, I don't know if those glitters are showing up on the video, but it's glittering with pyrite crystals. And I'm going to look around on this and see, number one, if I find any good looking ore that might have some gold in it, but also, you know, some nice pyrite crystals. Those would be cool to collect. You see all those pyrite crystals there gleaming in the sun? I hope it's showing up. I can't really see the viewfinder very well out here in the sun. So I'm going to look around and see if I can find any neat pyrite crystals or ore or anything else of interest. So here's some of the pyrite crystals I picked up. And I don't know how they're showing up on the video, but these things just glitter like crazy in the sunlight. I was hoping to find some bigger specimens. Sometimes they come as pretty huge crystals. I'll keep looking around and see if I find any. But they're cool. The old timers called this stuff fool's gold because it looks like gold, but it's not. It's not quite the right color. But, you know, it's a good indicator for gold. It's the kind of mineral you want to look for if you're looking for gold. And, well, obviously, they must have found some gold out here because they moved a whole lot of dirt. And I'm sure they weren't doing it for fun or for exercise. They must have been getting some gold out of this stuff. So I'm going to keep looking around and see if I find anything else besides this interesting pyrite crystals. So here's a piece of rock I found with a whole bunch of pyrite crystals in the matrix of it there. See those? Kind of neat. So let me keep looking, see what else I can find. So mixed in with this primarily yellow-orange sulfide-rich stuff, there are streaks of this bluish-purple stuff. And that link should still be in the upper right to that mine I went to yesterday that had the bobcat in it. It looked like they were mining a vein of purplish stuff. So, I imagine this is not very valuable if they threw it on the waste rock pile, but let me look through some of this purplish stuff and see if maybe a little bit of high-grade ore might have made it out here by mistake. See what I can find. So I'm back at the truck, and here's a pile of pyrite crystals I got, just for funsies. Here's that rock with all the pyrite crystals in it. And I picked up a few rocks off the pile that just kind of stood out because they didn't look like they belonged with the other stuff. So I'm hoping there's a little bit of maybe higher grade ore that got mixed in with the waste rock. This one here got a lot of iron oxide mineralization on it. So any prospector will tell you, gold rides an iron horse. Well, usually where you find gold, there's iron. Not always where you find iron, there's gold, but usually where you find gold, there's iron. So, and a few of these other rocks got some of this bluish purple mineralization on them, as well as some rust. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rock hammer over here. I'm going to bust these up, and I'm going to look at the exposed faces with my loupe and see if I see anything that looks like gold in there. If so, I'll go back and collect a larger sample of these. So it's just a short hike over to the piles from where I parked the truck here. So I can hike over there and collect more if this stuff looks promising. So let me put the phone down and get to hammering on it with the hammer. Okay, so after breaking this stuff up and sitting here on the tailgate for like the last 10 minutes, perusing it all with the loupe, this lighter colored stuff with the bluish purple on it, I think this is just weathered material that's like that yellow-orange stuff. It's got some interesting crystals in it. It's got some really pretty translucent amber crystals in it, but I don't see anything resembling gold. Now this rock is a different story. I'm thinking I'm seeing gold in this rock. This piece of rusty schist or whatever it is here, I'm thinking this might have some gold in it. I'm going to go back out on the pile and see if I can find some more of this stuff. Maybe enough for a decent sample to run through the Mighty Mill and pan and see if there's actually any gold in this stuff. Because this looks different than what's on the pile. This is like, this stuff over here, I guess, really was waste rock. But mixed in with it, there might be a little bit of ore here. So let me go see if I can find some more of this stuff. And maybe we can pulverize it and pan it and see if there's anything good in it. Okay, I went back and I collected a bunch more rock that looks like this stuff. I'll look at it with my loupe real quick. And then I think what I'm going to do is, if I still see what looks like gold in this stuff, I'm going to bust it up into smaller pieces that I can feed into the Mighty Mill. Then I'll get the Mighty Mill out and crush it up into a powder, and we'll pan it out and see if there's any gold in it. If there is, I can grab a big sack and go back there and fill the sack up with this stuff. So let me peruse this with the loupe, and then I'll let you know. So I've kind of segregated the rocks. These down here, I really don't see anything that could possibly be gold in them. But these rocks up here, they might have some gold in them. There's so much chalcopyrite in them, though, now that I've busted them open, that it's all glittery so bad it's hard to tell whether any of it's actually gold or not. I got some small pieces here that'll already fit in the Mighty Mill. I'm going to bust these up, and I'll get the mill out. We'll grind these up and pan out a pan or two and see if we can find anything. Okay, I didn't bust up all my sample rocks here, but I busted enough of them up that I've got a pretty good pile that I can run through the Mighty Mill. Some of these might actually still be a little big. We'll give it a try. Pulverize this stuff. Then we'll pan it out and see what we got. Put a few pieces in here. Turning it to dust. Dust is a good sign. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, dust. Sparkly dust. Some crystals in it of some kind. Hopefully there's some gold in there too. I think you're getting the idea. I'm going to run the rest of these small rocks through. Then I'll have enough material here to do some panning. So let me get that done, and we'll be back when it's time to pan. Okay, down to the last couple pieces. Mighty Mill's making short work of this stuff. There'll be a link at the bottom of this video where you can buy one of these. make any money off of them. I'm not affiliated with the guy who makes them. I just absolutely love my Mighty Mill. He makes them in batches, puts them up for sale on eBay, and they go really quickly. So as soon as he announces a new batch, you got to get your order in. Otherwise, you'll be sitting around twiddling your thumbs until he announces another batch. Yep, Mighty Mill making short work of this stuff. Okay. All out of there. All right. Good job, Mighty Mill. Okay, next I'm going to run this stuff through a sieve. Just the Mighty Mill will turn the bulk of this stuff into like talcum powder, but there's always a few bigger chunks there. So I'm going to get them out before I can to make life a little easier. I can always run the oversized stuff back through the Mighty Mill again. See if I can pan in my big pan here with my smaller pan. And we'll see if there's anything good in this stuff, or if I'm just wasting my time out here. But hey, I'm having fun out in the fresh mountain air and sunshine, even if it turns out there really isn't anything good in this stuff. This is my idea of fun. Maybe I'm a little weird, but it's my idea of fun. Let's see what we've got here. You know what we don't have here? Forgot the jet dry. Some floating stuff here. Some jet dry in there, and that should help with that problem. Stuff all good and wet. This is probably not going to be easy to pan. A lot of sulfides in it. There's a lot of iron oxide in it. But hopefully there's some gold in it too. I guess we'll find out here in a few minutes. Should have bought a bigger pan when I was over at A&B prospecting. This stuff out. May make less of a mess on my tailgate too. Of this pan, so I'm not going to be pulling through the stuff looking for it yet. I got to get rid of some more of this other stuff here. Definitely wasn't helping. It wants to blow the pan out of my hand. Walk some of this stuff back. Get rid of it. Oh, there's a lot of sulfides in there. It's a dark iron oxides, but you got sulfides starting to peek out from the sides there. There's a lot of sulfides in this stuff, which is not surprising. Well, this old mining road's busy today. There are a couple of active mines up the road, as well as dozens and dozens of abandoned ones. Oh yeah, lots of sulfides. Lots of sulfides. I'll have to try and get the phone down off the tripod and give you a look at what I'm seeing in the pan here. Especially once I get to the very end and see if there's any gold in it. That'd be nice, huh? Okay, I don't know how well that's showing up. You see the dark oxides there, and then the lighter sulfides peeking out on the sides as I wash the sulfides back, or as I wash the oxides back. It's getting lighter and lighter. That's all sulfides. That's pyrite and chalcopyrite in there, but hopefully there's some gold down there. So I'm going to keep washing this back until we get down to the nitty-gritty, and then we'll see if there's any gold in here. Okay, we're down to pretty much just the sulfides now. I don't know if you can see all those little sulfide crystals glittering in the sun. So, wow, there's a lot of sulfides in that rock. These sulfides probably ought to be smelted, but let me walk them back and see if there's any gold hiding up underneath them. Yeah, let me clean up these sulfides a little bit. See if I can walk any gold up. Then walk the sulfides down. Get my loop out again and we'll have a look at this stuff. See if there's actually any gold in it. Out and have a look at that. My hat shades everything, so I need the sunlight right now. Oh, there's a lot of sulfides in there. And some of those amber crystals I was talking about earlier. I don't know what those are. And I can smell the sulfides now that I've got my head in the pan. Let me clean this up a little better. There's a lot of sulfides there. The gold could still be hiding under them if there's any gold here. That big thing. Some big shiny pyrite crystals in there. It looks like a picker, but it's not. It's pyrite. Come on, sulfides, move. Leave the gold behind, though. There's a little bit of gold there. Oh yeah. There's some really fine stuff and a couple larger flakes that I see. There's a whole lot of little fine stuff though. And one larger flake there. So I would say some ore did get mixed in with the waste rock pile there. Nice. Oh, I smell these sulfides. I mean, it's not a lot of gold. I'll be perfectly honest with you, it's not a lot of gold. I did a video not too long ago on the core samples I got from the Homestank mine in South Dakota. Those had more gold in them than this stuff, and they didn't have much gold. So there is some gold here, but it's not probably worth collecting a bag of it and taking it home to process, I don't think. You know, that was my plan, was if I found some good ore, I was going to collect a big bag of it, process it. But I really don't think there is enough gold in this stuff to make that worthwhile. Let me double check. And there are a lot of sulfides here. There could be more gold hiding under them. But I think what I might do is just move on and check out another pile. Yeah, this is some fine, what looks like dust up in there, that gold. And there's one little tiny flake. There's another little tiny flake, but oh my God, they're tiny. So I would say not worth the effort even hiking back out to that pile and collecting any more rocks. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next site, see if we can do any better. Okay, I've moved on to another spot, and we got some pretty impressive looking waste piles over here. So let me go take a look. Looks like I'm going to have to go downhill into the creek to get over to that one. And we'll take a look and see what we got. So I've gone downhill into a creek and come across another huge pile here. Waste rock pile. It must be 30 feet tall, at least. Very steep. There's no climbing it. I'd have to poke around up on top if I can figure out how to get to the top of it. Didn't see any roads over this way. But I am looking around the base of it here, and I'm not really seeing anything of tremendous interest. Ooh, I can smell the sulfides though. This is all sulfide material from deep down. But I'm not even seeing any pyrite crystals or anything in this stuff. It's pretty bland and boring. So let me move on. See what else I can find. So I'm walking up this road near where that big barren tailing pile was in the creek. And I keep finding big chunks of fuggy quartz in the road. I was driving down the road, but I stopped to look at some of this stuff in the road, and now I've been hiking up the road collecting it as I go. Some of this stuff, I mean, look at the boxworks on that. Holy cow. I'm gonna collect as much of this as I can on the way back to the truck, as much as I can carry, because this stuff looks really interesting, and I've seen a lot of it, so I'm probably going to have quite a bit. Maybe a little bit too much for a sample in the mighty mill, but maybe I should take it home with me, bust it up into smaller pieces, and run it through my Smash-O-Matic, and so we can see what we got, because this stuff looks really good. It's full of sparkly little crystals. It's got boxworks, got bugs. This looks like good stuff. I don't know if it fell off of an ore cart or something coming down this road, but I just keep finding pieces of it in the middle of the road. I mean, there's no good reason for it to be in the middle of the road. Anyway, I'm going to collect some more and then head back to the truck. So I'm following the trail of the quartz, and it seems like this side road here is where it's coming from. This road is just littered with it too, only even more so. So I'm thinking it must have come from up there. Maybe this stuff just rattled off of ore wagons or trucks as it's coming down the road. I mean, there's more of it here than I can possibly collect. It's all over the place. So let me wander up this way and see what there is to see. Okay, it looked like this road was just dead-ending in brush, but I bushwhacked my way around this way and that way, and I can see that this used to connect with the main road going that way there. So I'm thinking that this road was used in the past to haul ore from some mines up in the hills there, and as the ore carts bounced down this really rough road, quartz fell out of them. Hopefully that's the high-grade stuff So I'm going to collect some as I hike my way back to the truck. I mean, it had to come out of trucks or something because there's no quartz in the country rock here. None at all. Just what's laying in the middle of the road. That's the only quartz. So it had to come off of trucks or wagons or something. And it looks like really good stuff. So I'm going to collect some as I walk back to the truck, and then we'll decide what to do with it. Okay, I moved the truck into an area a little more sheltered from the wind, so hopefully the wind won't interfere with the audio so much. Anyway, this is the stuff I picked up off the road. I'm amazed I got this much back, considering I only had my hands and my hat to carry it in. Especially this big chunker here. Wow. But will you look at that? Look at the vugs in that stuff. I really hope there's some gold in some of this stuff, and I'm not just wasting my time here. Some pieces are small enough already to run straight through the Mighty Mill, but I'm going to have to bust up some of these to get a decent size sample run through so we can pan it out and see what we got. So let me get to busting my rock hammer here, and I'll be back when I've got enough pieces for a decent sample. Okay, there we go. A lot of small pieces chipped off of those big chunks over there. A lot of dust here too. I'm going to have to run this dust in small chunks through the Mighty Mill as well. So let me reposition the camera up on the tripod and get the Mighty Mill out, and we will process this stuff and give it a quick panning, and hopefully there'll be something good in it. So I've been sitting here looking at these broken up pieces with my loupe, and so far I can't honestly say I see any gold. But all the indicators for gold are here. Nice vuggy quartz full of rust left over from sulfides degrading, oxidizing away. So I guess the only way to really know for sure is to just run them all through the Mighty Mill here, pulverize them and pan them out, and see what we got. So let me get started on that. Let's see, how's the battery holding up? Oh, still got a good charge. Okay, that's a big chunk. We'll run that one by itself. All right, dust. Turning that quartz into dust. So just to keep this video, I smell sulfides. Huh, there must have been some, unoxidized sulfides in there yet. I smell sulfur. So anyway, just to keep this video from getting too outrageously long, I'll go ahead and process the rest of this stuff through the Mighty Mill and sweep up all these little chips and dust and put them through too. And then we'll be back when I've done all that. Well, here's our finely powdered quartz. As usual, there's a few big chunks in it, so I'm going to sieve it again. So this is exactly what the Mighty Mill was designed for doing, is sampling. The guy who sells them will tell you that using it for production work will void the warranty. And of course, its capacity really isn't all that high. For sampling, it's great. That's why I built the Smash-O-Matic back home. And if I find any gold in this stuff, I'll probably take the rest of these rocks home with me, bust them up, and run them through the Smash-O-Matic. Because that is a machine I designed and built for production. Okay, so I could also run the oversized stuff back through if it looks like there's enough gold to make it worthwhile. Get some water in the pan, pan this stuff out. Oh, that wind is howling out there. I found this little copse of trees to park in to hopefully block some of the wind noise. I hope it's not affecting the audio too bad. It's a very windy day today in Arizona, at least this part of Arizona. And you know what? Once again, I've forgotten the jet dry. I can always tell right away if I forgot to put the jet dry in because there's all kinds of stuff floating. As soon as the jet dry hits it, it all sinks. Don't want anything floating, especially not the gold. Fine gold will float. Alright, get this stuff panned out. See what we got here. Well, I can already tell this is a little different from the last sample. This seems to have a lot less magnetite in it. At least at this point. Let me get rid of some more of this lighter stuff on top. We'll see what's underneath. Yeah, this is also a much bigger sample than we did last time. So I've been pretty aggressively trying to get rid of the lighter stuff on top. Now I'm going to take it a little easier here. Down to hopefully some good stuff. Well, it made the water awful muddy though. Probably that fine iron oxide in there. You hear that bird? There's a oriole over there. My wife and I are a bit into bird watching. I noticed it earlier. Now I hear it over there singing. Yeah, there's some sulfides in here. Not near as bad as last time. Yeah, there's some mica in here too. Mica's nice and shiny and will fool you into thinking you found something. Ah, now we're down to the sulfides. Yeah, get the last of that powdered quartz off and the mica, the lighter stuff, and yeah, that's all sulfides there. That gray stuff, that's all sulfides. Let's see what's under the sulfides. Hopefully, some gold. Yeah, a lot of sulfides here. You know what? Even if there's no gold in this stuff, I think I'm going to take it home, take this rock home with me, crush it, pan or sluice it out, and maybe smelt these sulfides. Let's see what we got. There might actually be some gold here. Where's my loop? Put this on a little rope around my neck like Jeff Williams does, huh? I don't want to pan like Jeff Williams. Let me get the sun here. I gotta take this out where there's more sun. Just a second. Okay, I think I'm seeing some gold in here. Let me see if I can segregate it from the sulfides a little better. Boy, this water's muddy. And I'll see if I can get you a look at it with the macro on my phone. That generally doesn't work too good, but we'll give it a try. Now, I'm not seeing a huge amount of gold here, but a little more than the last place. Definitely a little more than the last place. It's fine, though. Very fine. Okay, let me get the camera down off the tripod and I'll see if any of this will show up. It's very fine. I don't know if the macro on the phone will show it up or not, but there's definitely more gold in here by probably 10 times than the last place we sampled. Yeah, I need to get a microscope, although I probably wouldn't carry it into the field, but okay. So most of that stuff you're seeing there is sulfides. But along the top edge of it, there's a fair number of little flakes of gold mixed in. So, you know, certainly not something I'm going to get rich off of with this amount of rock. Of course, I could go back and fill up a 5-gallon bucket with this stuff if I wanted to. Ooh, let me get out of the wind. But certainly more gold in this stuff than we're seeing in the last stuff. So, cool. So yeah, I think I will take this stuff home and process it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think we found something. Didn't come up empty anyway. That's good. Okay, that was a whole lot of fun, and we got a little bit of gold out of it. Very nice. And I've got a lot of rock to take back and process back home in Florida through my bigger crusher. So cool. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do next is going to head up into higher elevations, get out of the desert here, and head up into the forests higher up in the mountains. And I know some places up there that we could check out, and we'll see what they're like. So let me get in the truck and get moving. Oh, pardon my heavy breathing. I'm hiking up this steep road towards another mine up here on the side of this mountain. At the beginning, it didn't look like I could get the truck up here, but now it's widened out. I probably could have got the truck up here, but well, I'm hiking. I might as well keep hiking and see what's around the next few bends anyway. Standing here in the shade of a pine tree and just relaxing for a second, catching my breath. I'm gonna keep hiking on. All right, been hiking up this very steep road for a while. Okay, up here, there's a waste rock pile. Now I'm not going up to that adit. There should be some lower ones up around the way, just off this road. At least according to Google Earth there are, so I should be getting close. Whew. This is cardio, man. Hiking up this steep road at altitude. Wow. I can feel the weight melting off of me, which is a good thing. Well, I must be getting close. I'm starting to see chunks of heavily mineralized quartz in the road here as I'm walking. So, gotta be getting close. Unfortunately, the road has leveled out a lot. It's not such a steep uphill climb now. It's mostly horizontal with a few uphill sections. Better. Well, I have reached the lower mine dump level. We're here. There's the upper level, way up there. Yeah, somebody younger in better shape than me that can go up there, but boy, from here those rocks look interesting. So I need to go on a good diet and come back here next year. This area's been leveled out, probably with a bulldozer, and it looks like people are camping up here and shooting. But it's all about the rocks for me. So I'm going to have a look around and see what there is to see. I found this rock. It is heavily stained with malachite. So it's got some copper in it. And some really sparkly crystals in there. Maybe druzy quartz. Maybe something else. Interesting. Interesting. I might bust it in half and look and see if there's anything inside it. But really, this looks more like copper than anything else. Yeah, I broke that rock open. Of course, the sun just went behind a cloud, so it's not as bright out here, but it's got a lot of malachite on the inside, too, not just on the outside. So this was pretty good copper ore, it looks like. I'm sure they were getting a lot of copper out of this mine, if this is any indication of what they were pulling out. Okay, let me keep looking and see if I can find anything else interesting. Well, down here on the lower dumps, I'm not really finding much. A lot of green stained rocks, stained with malachite. I found some quartz over there behind those trees, stained green with malachite. But really nothing looked like it had any gold in it. Now, I see through the trees there's two big piles up there. So now it's twice as intriguing. Especially the one on the left looks really good. I don't know. Maybe I'll try hiking up the road a little ways. If I drop dead from a coronary, this will become a found footage video when somebody finds my phone. Let me see what's happening. I'm traveling light here. Just got a water bottle in my rock hammer, and I am carrying a sack in case I do find a lot of rock worth collecting, but otherwise I'm traveling pretty light. Maybe I will attempt the road and see how far I get. It looks pretty darn steep and way too narrow to take a vehicle up. So let me try. Well, I'm doing the Mad Dogs as Englishmen thing out here in the noonday sun, trudging up this incredibly steep so-called road. I've been up staircases that weren't this steep. Holy cow. I'm just taking it slow and easy, no rush. Slow and steady wins the race. Uh-oh. Wow, this is 45 degrees here at least, if not 50 or more. Well, let me put the phone down and see how far I get up this section. Well, this road, such as it was, has devolved into a little more than a cattle trail. Very narrow, rocky, and steep, headed up the hill here. And there's so much vegetation up here, I can't tell where I am in relation to the mines up there. I don't know if I'm halfway up or just starting. I don't know. Whew. We go up this way a little bit further. Just a little more, Mike. Just a little more. See what's around the next bend. Keep telling myself that. Okay. Let me go look. Whew, catch my breath. The cattle trail just came up a particularly steep section and intersected a friggin' road. I don't know where this goes. This ain't the road my truck's parked at the bottom of. But this is heading over in the direction I want to go. And it's a lot better shape than the cattle trail I came up on. See that flat area way down there is where I was looking at the other waste piles. So let's go up this way a little bit. See what we see. They're still above me quite a bit, that one is. At least I'm going towards them on level ground, though. I'll take level ground on a wide road over bushwhacking through a cattle trail narrower than my shoulders. Here's some dumps right on the road. All right, I made it, and I'm still alive. Okay, let me get over here and look around. Catch my breath a little bit. Well, I would say these piles have been here for a while based on the size of the trees growing out of them. I guess this mine must have closed down 100 years ago or more. Okay, so far I'm not seeing too much interesting. A lot of iron-stained rocks, a little bit of quartz here and there, but nothing too interesting. But the road's wide and flat, so let me keep trudging. Hopefully find something and this wasn't a wasted trip. At least I got some good exercise out of it. So poking around another pile here. Oh, that wind feels good. After that climb up here, I was sweating like a pig. Oh, the wind feels great. So that wicked wind, which feels great, blew my hat off, and it landed right next to this rock. Can you see those cubic pyrite crystals in there? I bent down to pick up my hat and saw them shining in the sun. This rock's full of them. Let me find some more. There's some more. And I see them on the ground over here too, kind of like on that first pile at the beginning of the video, but not near as many. But let me look around, and what I'll probably do is I've got my rock camera with me. I'll bust this open. I've got my loop with me. I'll take a peek inside it, see what we got. Oh, look what I found. Look at the size of this pyrite crystal. I looked down, I saw several other rocks with crystals cropping out of them, and this one was just sitting there on the dirt all by its lonesome. Picked it up. That's the biggest one I found in a while. Very cool. I need to look around this area some more. Very cool. Nice crystals. So I broke open one of these rocks that had all these pyrite crystals sticking out of the side of it, and it looks like it's just massive solid sulfides on the inside. Not sure which sulfide that is. I think there's a little chalcopyrite in there. There's definitely some iron pyrite, and it's got a rind of iron oxide around it. But it looks like it's just massive sulfides in there. I don't really see anything that looks like gold, but I might keep this just as a specimen for all the sulfides. And here's another rock with the pyrite crystals popping out of the side of it. Plus, I collected some more big pyrite crystals off the ground down here. And I like them because, unlike the first place we visited, these are actually nice cubes. Those others were kind of like crushed masses, but these are actual cubes like they're supposed to be. Very cool. So hey, it's not just about collecting the gold, it's collecting neat specimens too. I'm loving this. It was worth the climb. Let me look around some more before I head back down. Okay, this may yet turn into a found footage video. Instead of bushwhacking my way back down the way I came up, I think I'm going to follow this road. Because sooner or later it's got to intersect the main road, and then I can hike up the main road back to where I left my truck. This is a lot less steep and a lot less overgrown than bushwhacking my way through all that back down to that flat area there and then down the other steep road. So I'll give it a try. We'll see. So another reason for taking this road down is because I could see there were yet more piles and adits higher up still. But there was no obvious trail to get up there, and the brush was just too thick to even think about bushwhacking. So I was hoping there would be spurs off of this road heading up the hill to those higher adits, but there don't seem to be. This thing is headed pretty solidly downhill with some switchbacks to keep it from getting too steep. So, yeah, I guess this is going to go down and join up with the main road at some point. So I'll follow it and see what happens. I've got enough water with me that if for some reason I reach a dead end, I can turn around, climb back up this road, and then bushwhack my way down the other way. But hopefully I won't have to. Heck of a view from up here. I'm still quite a ways above the main road, which you can just barely see over there. But the road's heading down, and my truck's parked over there somewhere. So once I get down to the main road, I can just hike over that way, and eventually I'll find my truck. Should be a fairly level hike. But the mountains are beautiful up here. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier hiking downhill than uphill. I'm hardly sweating, and there's a nice breeze. Gorgeous up here. Not always just about the gold, people. You know, you got to get out in nature and enjoy it. This is beautiful. This is great. I love it. I love the mountains. Okay, I love it when a plan comes together. There's the main road there, and I should have a fairly easy level hike off that way to where I parked the truck. Huh. Well, this road was a lot easier than the one I went up. But I didn't see this one on Google Earth. Maybe there's just too many trees overhanging it and it's invisible. I don't know. But yeah, I saw the other road, but the vegetation was a lot sparser there. But this one, not so much. Okay, let me get down to the main road and start hiking back to the truck. Maybe we can go on to another place while there's still some daylight. Well, there's the trusty old Tacoma right where I left it. I started to wonder, that road I took down off this mountain took me further east than I thought. It's been quite a hike on this road to get back here. I'm like, shouldn't I be there by now? But here it is. Okay, let me unpocket the stuff when I get back there. We'll take a quick look at it, and head on down the road. It's not quite 2 p.m. So probably got time to go visit another spot or two and see if we can find anything interesting. Okay, so here's all the stuff I brought down off that mountain. Not too much. The pyrite crystals I picked up. Nice cubical, big ones. Nice. This rock is a specimen that has lots of pyrite crystals poking out of it. Massive sulfides, but I think I'm just going to keep it as a specimen of pyrite. This one's got pyrite crystals poking out of it too. These over here, to be honest, I picked them up because these are the kind of rocks that look like they should probably be run through the mighty mill to see if they have any gold in them. But I'm a little reluctant because if I find gold in them, that means I've got to go back up that hill and collect more. Well, you know what? I do know a better way up now. I'll think about that. But I think I'm going to set these aside for now. And we'll go see if we can find something even better. We'll go poke around some other piles while there's still some daylight. And maybe I'll run these through the next time I have the mighty mill out. Or just take them home and run them through the Smash-O-Matic. One or the other. Okay. Let me get back in the truck and get moving. So I'm heading off to one more spot to have a look around. And I pull off the main road. There's a herd of deer over there. Can you see them? As soon as I get out of the truck, I'm sure they'll scatter because they're pretty darn close. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least of them. So hey, we're going to have some wildlife sightings in this video too. Maybe not quite as exciting as the last video with the bobcat, unless I run into a bear or something out here. That's a possibility. Okay, burning daylight. I'm probably going to scare these guys away, but I got to go see if we can find something else to sample today. Yeah, there go the deer. They ran off just as soon as I got out of the truck. Oh well. So, I'm going to scout around this area. There's supposed to be a mine back here. I don't know exactly where. And there's too many trees for anything to show up on Google Earth. So I guess I'm just going to have to scout around on foot and see what I can find. Well, hey, check this out. I found an adit. Yeah, I was not expecting to find an open adit, although it looks like it was closed off at some time, and somebody has knocked the gates down. Ooh, a lot of bugs around the entrance. Now, I was not expecting to do any underground exploring, so I don't have light sources with me other than my phone, and I'm not going in with one light source. I'm really not all that keen on underground exploring anyway. I'm kind of more into looking at what the old-timers drug out from underground for me. Well, I'm generally not one for underground exploring, but I'm here, and I'm intrigued. It took me a while to find this, so I'm pretty far from the truck, but I think I'll hike back there and find a flashlight and come back over here and see what we can see inside. While I'm here just a little ways, anyway, since I'm here and I'm intrigued. Okay, I'm back with a flashlight, and I'm just inside the portal. And it looks like it faces out in about another 40 or 50 feet. So this thing doesn't go very far. I don't know if it... Yeah, it doesn't go very far. It looks like it definitely faces out right there. So this was just a prospect. Ooh, the bugs are thick right here at the portal. This was just a prospect. That would explain why there's not a lot of rock outside. They didn't dig very far in. Okay. Well, that explains that. And it really saves me from having to go in there and hunt around underground. Because it looks like it only goes in about 40 or 50 feet. Okay, let me back out here. Banging my head on these rocks. Back outside. Oh, I couldn't see that it was so shallow with my sun-dazzled eyes poking in there till I had the flashlight. Alright, well that explains why there's no big rock pile out here. They didn't actually dig very far in. So this is probably it for the rock pile. Well, it took me a while to find this thing. It's getting late. The shadows are getting long. Sun's about to touch the ridge top up there. So I think I'm pretty much going to have to call it a day and hike back to the truck and head on back towards town in my motel. So anyway, I had fun today. I thought it was a fun day. I didn't find a whole lot of gold or any exotic minerals or anything, but still I had a whole lot of fun. Got a lot of great exercise out here in the fresh air and sunshine up in the mountains of Arizona. A lot of people think Arizona is all desert. No. No. There's a lot of really pretty mountainous forested areas in Arizona. But I had a lot of fun. I hope you had some fun watching this video too. If so, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to see my future videos. There will be more mine exploration videos. In a week or so, I'm going to be heading out to Wyoming, and I'm much more familiar with the mines in Wyoming. I know where the gold is out there, so we'll be heading out there and doing some exploring out there. So subscribe to see those videos, and check out my second channel, ElectroGeek64. There's always good stuff going on there if you're all interested in electronics or retro computing. And I'll see you in the next series of videos. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye.